Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with a quick review of OG versus Rogue. A very exciting game that was decided very early on, and I wanted to highlight these key moments. No camera today because I'm very sick. I have food poisoning, quite severe one. I spent the whole night puking. That's why my voice might sound weird as well, because honestly, when you puke too much, you destroy yourself. Anyway, we started with the draft. Set blind pick very early on. I think Set is very, very strong, but I think you can't really blind pick it. There's a lot of bad matchups for Set. There's a lot of champions that interact well with Set. As you can see here, Origin are drafting a full composition that is quite decent into Set. Aatrox into Set seems to be a difficult matchup for Set. I've said Set 15 times in 15 seconds, so I'm gonna stop. Misfortune. Picking it into Syndra when Syndra's flex is also pretty bad. Syndra Tristana flex is super powerful. Yasuo Lucian second wave band is also 100% correct. You remove the AD options. That can also be flexed. Nuktak loves his Yasuo. I'm imagining that he's a good Lucian too. Tristana was kept here, and it's the only useful AD option that's open considering Kiana's banned. But Kiana mid is also kind of a myth. Here with all these AD carry bands inspired, decided to look in Misfortune for Hans Sama, but I think just the first 3 picks makes it almost impossible for Misfortune to play the game because she's so ultra reliant in terms of doing damage, and Syndra and Nautilus, Gragas already there have a lot of range and a lot of ways to interrupt Misfortune ult. So I think OG definitely have the better draft here. The matchup Tristana into Azir is very good. Nuktak didn't show it too much this game. Inspired hovered around mid lane a lot, and Gragas showed a lot on top and bottom, and gained a lot of value out of it. It didn't seem like Nuktak had played too much Tristana in recent history, but I'm happy that Tristana got picked up here as one of the choices. Leona Nautilus, we don't have to discuss. Olaf, it's very clear that OG wanted them to funnel, wanted really badly that Rogue pick Olaf, because you know that Inspired as an Olaf player, Elise, Jarvan ban. I think they just think that Olaf is a dogshit champion, and I'm inclined to agree. A lot of junglers are kind of dogshit, honestly. I think anything that isn't Gragas is really useless. So let's jump into the game. There was a very big moment in the early game. First, we had a Rogue starting at enemy blue off. This put Inspired in a position where he's slightly ahead on tempo. And then afterwards, what happened was a beautiful thing here where Xerxes recovers all of his tempo and takes blue off away. So why this is so big, bottom is Prior, of course. Syndra and Nautilus is pushing against Misfortune Leona. Leona is only not useful level 1. Nautilus is quite useful level 1. And Syndra is just super strong level 1. So they had the push, they had the Prior, okay. They can step into here. So here is a smite battle, of course, and the reason why this is so clutch is because Inspired already took this blue, right? Gragas is very strong on this patch because he can take level 3 off of bottom camps or top side camps. In this case, it didn't matter too much because it didn't indeed take the bottom side camps, and this was always giving you level 3. But the fact that he stepped into here and then won the smite battle means that he is on even tempo or even ahead here. He has better access to the next crab, and with that being said, he's going to be faster into top side as well. Looking at top position, Aatrox is dominant and Inspired is showing, so it means that Aatrox can continue to push and everything is settled and done here. So Xerxes, he steals it away, and usually the way you want to play an Olaf matchup is you want to get ahead with the level 1 invade, and then you want to get ahead with the higher tempo. But now Xerxes used Olaf tempo against him and just stole all that tempo away from him with this blue buff steal. And when you're playing something like Olaf, that's a game decider. So Xerxes is also going to take crab, and top crab, keep this in mind, that's why it's so important. Nuktak is trying some all-in trades. Okay, you need to time this with bone plating, is very important. Nuktak, I think he traded here without bone plating, but I'm not too certain because I don't control the camera. Xerxes, as I said, took double crab. Next thing that's going to happen is this mid situation is so huge. So we don't know how we ended up in this position. But here, Larsen has TP, right? He has TP and he's stacking a big wave, and Nuktak needs to base. So ideally what would happen is either Gragas helps and frees this, or they commit all the way and look to kill him. Here, if Olaf is in fog, which was an option, right? Olaf could have definitely been here. Ward is showing here, Ward is showing, there's a crab here. So they know Olaf is not coming from this side, but let's say Olaf came from this side or even from this side. Then this would have been a big question mark. This would have been very dangerous. So this is a very, very powerful position for Lausen. Lausen played this properly. He's going to look to base and then TP and then keep pressuring, and then Tristana will be minus 15 CS or something like this, because Tristana has to base. Instead, what happens, OG just risk it all. They go for it. They read where Olaf position is perfectly. Xerxes with the beautiful flash. They manage to kill Larsen. Larsen has no mana to E away. And then boom, he's dead. Tristana flashes away. And this is a game saver, because Larsen could have created CS advantage here, TP'd back, and they could have snowballed from here. But this is huge. What Xerxes managed to accomplish here is humongous. Next thing that happens is a top kill. 1v1 straight up, Aatrox against Set. It was silly. Finn just getting clapped in the all-in. Set is not a strong laner, as I told you before. Like he's not that strong of a laner, and it's just not that great. Here Finn goes for Executioner's Calling and boots. So I don't know here. Like he comes back to lane with Ninja Tabi. So I think he just refunded it. Actually, he just refunded it. I thought he sold Executioner's Calling and then TPD refunded, went for Ninja Tabi. Okay. So in this game, you know, Rogue already very behind with the composition that needs to snowball. Misfortune needs to snowball. Olaf needs to snowball. It's a big deal. Something that I missed as well was Gragas ganking bottom. It was very nicely done. The hook with the stun lands, sliding past the creeps, upset, burning, cleanse. The only way for Rogue to recover is to basically just try to use the fact that Upset doesn't have cleanse, but here Rogue also use all of the summoners. They die on bottom, so already now the game is in a very rough position. The only thing that is keeping Rogue in this game is the fact that they get this mountain, right? That is the only upside to all of this mambo jumbo that is happening. We have a replay of the gank. We continue. Next thing that is going to happen, the Herald has been secured. They used it to take the top tower, so Alfari is a monster ahead. All of this gold lead is honestly on Alfari. He's monster fed. Rogue is trying to create something in bottom. Anything that Rogue is going to do for the rest of the game is going to reek of desperation, because that's the position they're in, right? Everyone is super strong on the enemy team, and the only upside to what's happening for Rogue is how far ahead Azir is. But Azir is such a slow bloomer that it just takes too much time, honestly. It just takes way too much time. Azir needs 3 items before he has that crazy presence as he used to. And when you're this behind, it's just never gonna happen. Rogue securing the Infernal Drake. The next big thing that will happen is the fact that Rogue in all of this managed to secure 3 Drakes. And everything comes down to the 4th Drake, of course. So here, whoever is first on the tempo on this wave will have easier access. It's very important that we highlight the ward here that is so clutch for Origin. You see the one I marked on the minimap. This one gives OG enough information to be able to face check the river. If they didn't have this ward, honestly, this would be a game changer. So here, if this was swept, something it was dealt with in one way or another, then OG's lack of tempo here would have been very dangerous. OG are playing a very risky game with tempo for the majority of the game, but they are allowed to do so because of how much vision they're building up. Here, as I said, this ward is spotting everyone. OG are free to face check. So this was very dangerously close. This could have been an opportunity for Rogue. The Drake falls down to 20 HP. The issue here for Origin is the fact that Syndra actually is mispositioned. So here, Set is basing, TPM back, looking to force on this fight. Rogue want to take this opportunity, use Olaf, even though he's 2 levels behind, use him with the ult to kind of walk in there and steal. So here, Syndra's position is the issue. So Syndra is positioned in a way where if Rogue get access here, it's very easy for them to push Syndra away. She will not zone anyone from this position. If Syndra is positioned here instead, and Aatrox is also here, then this will be a lot easier. Here I feel like OG is just being a bit too greedy. Destiny is also not building Gargoyle Stoneplate, so this is not a tanky Nautilus at all. This is a Shurelia's Rush Nautilus, which is, in my opinion, not that great, especially with the change to Aftershock. Here, Upset, we see right away he gets zoned off. He has to walk around. He's trying to hover around, but he's just not doing anything. This is a fight that could potentially be won by OG, but just because of the position of Upset, there's nothing to be done. And also we have to highlight how close it was that this Drake was stolen away, because it went down to 24 HP. I fast forward to the wrong point. Well, the Drake was 24 HP, trust me. So now the next move for OG is, of course, to pressure topside and then move into Drake. The big thing that I think OG missed was the fact that they can actually push the top wave all the way, but they can't push the mid wave all the way. In order for you to take full control over this space, they need to do it through topside. Instead, what we saw from OG most of the game was them trying to contest this space. Eventually, they secured Nash because they managed to poke Rogue enough, but I think this is a weakness of OG in the fact that they didn't recognize that they needed to push top all the way, hover through topside, and then use the fact that there is no tower. Because if Azir is standing behind the turret, he can practically clear the wave 1v4. So with this being said, OG could definitely improve on their late game pressuring when they have a lead. This could definitely be a lot better. I hope I can find an example. It should be here very soon. So Rogue are allowed to sit here in this bush constantly because Azir can walk up and he's very safe and he can clear the creeps here. There's no aggressive approach at all for Rogue, for OG. They can't walk in through here. Blue trinkets, 3 of them on of course Rogue's side here. A lot of blue trinkets. They're using it to spot, but Rogue are constantly getting access. I think if this wave is pushed all the way, it's much easier because there's no turret, and then they can pressure this turret. Rogue will have to take a rotation. The way you beat Azir is that you make him rotate. If Azir can park himself on the mid lane, he can easily control this space. So this wave is now crashing, and Rogue are in no business to walk up there. I think if they controlled topside through, topside jungle through top, it would have been much better for Origin. Now a little dance. Here Xerxes is not pressing his stopwatch. I think also it is kind of desperate here what OG is doing. The idea is that they don't want to give any space to Rogue at all to clear this topside wave. It is a lot of gold. It's not the end of the day for OG. And then the nail in the coffin is, of course, the Nashor. It eventually goes down for OG, but I think this could have been done much earlier and also much cleaner. We have the fight in mid lane where Hans Sama burns 2 summoners. Nashor gets started here for OG. Off of the back of Hans Sama's HP, he's looking to lifesteal with his bloodline, of course. Has 75% crit. He's yelling at Larsen, why do you kill these raptors? I need to heal up. OG are trying to hover and trying to poke as much as possible. This is the one time it worked because they get so much poke off, and Inspired has no flash. This is why they are forcing so hard. Inspired no flash, Misfortune no flash, and Inspired is trying to walk in here, but you will notice very soon that his skull will be cracked. He also has no Olaf ult, so he just gets popped. Balls to the face. That is a finished Nashor, smited at 450, and then the game is over. So off of the back of this massive early game lead that OG managed to accrue, Alphari solo kill in topside, continued snowball by Xerxes, beautiful jungle pathing by Xerxes. This game was easy butter. It was one of the easiest executions for OG ever. Honestly, the early game decision making was very risky, but it paid off. And off of the back of that, it was just a clean victory. They could have sped up their Nash play, but let's not complain too much. Something that I wanted to highlight that I missed as well was early on, just to highlight the point of Xerxes' jungling and how aggressive he is taking his decisions. Right here, right before he kills MF, This is a very nice one, honestly. This is a very, very nice one. So Olaf just secures Mountain Drake, right? Just secures Mountain. And he's walking into bottom to trying to find the gank. Absolutely beautiful movement, yeah? And then Olaf is backing off, backing off, backing off. In a lot of cases, players would be afraid here. Players would be afraid. Olaf could be in bottom side, and the potential of a 3v3 could be dangerous for OG. But here, their decision making is so goddamn aggressive, so damn juicy, and they go for this one. It's a very, very good timing gank. Olaf is nowhere to be found. The way they caught Hansama was also very good with the stun and then the Q of Nautilus. Very, very nice. And here, the game is just over because all the summoners are burnt. I hope you liked this review. Sorry for anything, honestly. I'm food poisoned, so I'll just blame that if anything is bad. If you have feedback, then leave it below. We reached 25k subscribers. I'm super happy. Thank you so much for lending your support. All the best to all of you. Take care and peace.